What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. With football season in full swing, I thought I'd get out there and start writing some more football requests. So here we go, jumping into my first football request for a while. And it is returned from Ohio, from former Ohio State / Cincinnati Bengal great Pete Johnson on 1, 2, a third, and a fourth team leaders card, which is really awesome. If you don't ask me, this is a really nice autographed card. So let me tell you about Pete Johnson and his career in college football and the NFL. Pete Johnson was born in Georgia, where he played 3 years of high school football there. However, after a death of his great-grandparents, he relocated to New York to finish out his senior year of college football. Well, after high school ended, Johnson played fullback at Ohio State University, or the Ohio State, from 1973 to 1976 under Woody Hayes. With an injury to Champ Henson, he got a shot to be the fullback on the Buckeyes. Well, if you remember, two-time Heisman Trophy winner Archie Griffin was the other running back in that backfield. And although most of the attention was set on the two-time Heisman Trophy winner Archie Griffin from 1972 to 75, in 1975 when Archie Griffin rushed for 1,450 yards, Johnson rushed for 1,059 and set a single-season records for rushing touchdowns at 25 that season. Not Archie Griffin, but Pete Johnson did. He finished his career at Ohio State with 2,308 rushing yards and a school record 58 touchdowns. His 348 points was a Buckeyes record until surpassed by kicker Mike Nugent in 2004. The Cincinnati Bengals selected Johnson in the second round of the 1977 draft. Immediately, he became an impact player for the Bengals, a bruising runner and competent blocker. He was the mainstay for the Bengals backfield. He was the team's leading rusher for all 7 seasons he played for them and scored 12 or more rushing touchdowns in 3 different seasons with the Bengals. His best season was in 1981, this would be an 82 card, where he made his only Pro Bowl selection, which is kind of amazing. Johnson set career highs in rushing, 1,077 yards, receptions 46, receiving yards 320, and touchdowns 16, leading the team to a 12-4 record for the AFC playoffs. They would eventually face off against the 49ers in the Super Bowl that year, where they would lose to the 49ers 26-21. In 1984, Johnson was traded to the Chargers in exchange for running back James Brooke. When he left Cincinnati, he was their all-time leader in rushing yards, 5,421, touchdowns, 70, and second all-time scorer with 420 points. His time in San Diego didn't last long, as he only spent 3 games with the Chargers before being sent to Miami, where he finished off the 1984 season with the Dolphins when the season ended, and he retired. In his 8 NFL seasons, Johnson rushed for 5,626 yards, caught 170 passes, and scored 82 touchdowns. Johnson also has a random NFL record. He also has an NFL record of 3 straight games with at least 1 receiving and 1 rushing touchdown. That's pretty interesting. I did not know that. Post-playing career, Johnson was selected for the Ohio State Buckeyes All-Century team, and he was inducted into the Ohio State University Athletics Hall of Fame in 2007. So I'm very happy to add Mr. Johnson to the collection. I had never gotten him before. This is another one of those long-lost NFL greats that a lot of people just don't recall, because of probably the team that he played for, the Cincinnati Bengals, but one of the best at his position for many, many years. All right, so moving on to the next one. This one is postmarked from Arkansas, and it is former University of Arkansas great Joe Ferguson on 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you definitely remember this guy, but this is one of those cool art cards from Pro Set from back in the 90s. I've been meaning to do a Art of Modern Sports Cards video with the NFL art. I just haven't gotten around to doing an NFL video, so you may be seeing this card again in the near future. So let me tell you about Joe Ferguson, his collegiate and NFL playing career. Joe Ferguson played high school football in Shreveport, Louisiana. He actually replaced Terry Bradshaw at Woodlawn's starting quarterback position while in high school. Ferguson played college football for the University of Arkansas. He set a record while at Arkansas where he had the school's single game record for most completions by a quarterback until it was broken in 2012, which was 31 completions in 1971 in a game. Well, he was drafted in the 3rd round in the 1973 draft by the Buffalo Bills. He was a mainstay for the Bills for many years, playing from 1973 to 1984, and he actually held a record with Ron Jaworski of playing in the most consecutive games by a starting quarterback with 107 until he was replaced in 1984. After his time with the Bills, he moved on to the Detroit Lions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Indianapolis Colts, and would come out of retirement in 1995 to serve as the backup quarterback for the San Antonio Texans. One of the most notable things with holding numerous records, Jim Kelly, broke a few of those records obviously since, but he was actually tied with Fran Tarkington in 1975 for the most NFL touchdowns with 25 and compiled a passer rating of 81.3. Ferguson also surpassed 20 touchdown seasons in 3 other seasons in 1980, 81, and 83. He finished his career with 196 touchdowns thrown and 209 interceptions. So very happy to add Mr. Ferguson to the collection. I want to say that I probably have a University of Arkansas card of him, but I decided not to send it because I had the art card and I also had these retro cards of him, so we'll move on to the next one. Alright, I'm pretty excited to get this one back because this is another one of those 2-part cards or whatever you want to call it. And this is a return from former New York Jets running back Freeman McNeil on 1, 2, a 3rd multi-team card from the 81 team leaders, and a 4th rushing leaders card with Tony Dorsett on it. And Mr. Dorsett is an excellent through-the-mail signer with a donation, so I'm going to send, obviously with getting McNeil back, I'm going to probably send this to Mr. Dorsett with my donation and hopefully get this card completed. So let me tell you about Freeman McNeil and his time in the NFL. McNeil was born in Jackson, Mississippi, but his family later relocated to Los Angeles, California. McNeil attended high school in Los Angeles at Banning High School. Standing at just 5'11" and 214 pounds, he attended the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA as a running back, where he was a 2-time All-Pac-10 selection. In his 4 seasons at UCLA, McNeil rushed for 3,195 yards and 21 touchdowns with an average of more than 5 yards per carry. The New York Jets in the 1981 season, so that'd be his rookie year right there, selected McNeil with the number 3 overall pick out of UCLA. He was automatically thrown into the starting lineup his first year with the Jets. He actually played his entire career with the Jets from 1981 to 1992, so 11 seasons. He made the Pro Bowl 3 times, 1982 and 84 and 85. He was the NFL rushing leader, as you can see, on the AFC side, in 1982. During the mid to the late 80s, he was a member teaming up with Johnny Hector as the 2-headed monster backfield, a tandem that ranked among the league's elite. When he retired, he was the Jets' all-time leading rusher with 8,074 yards, which was broken by Hall of Famer Curtis Martin, and currently ranks 2nd in the Jets' team history. In 1982, as I mentioned, he led the NFL in rushing with 786 yards. He was the first New York Jet in history to lead the league in rushing. Post-playing career, I'm not really sure what he does, but I can tell you that the New York Jets put him in the Jets Ring of Honor. He's one of the greatest New York Jets in the history of the franchise at running back. Like I said, held numerous records until Curtis Martin broke them. But I'm very, very happy and excited to get a legendary player like Freeman McNeil to sign for me through the mail. I hope to get Tony Dorsett to sign that as well. I also want to thank Mr. Joe Ferguson for signing for me on his cards as well. He was one of the best Buffalo Bills quarterbacks in history. I also want to thank Mr. Pete Johnson, another hard-nosed running back, for signing for me through the mail. And like I said, I really enjoy that sideways card of him. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to your comments below. And as always, happy collecting.